Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Cleveland Open Project Discussion on Cleveland Social Networking Platform, where we discuss Africa on behalf of Africans in diaspora. On Cleveland Social Networking Platform, we help raise awareness in your communities. If you get to do so, please sign up with us on www.cleveland.com. All right, my name is Frank Kalide Mundia, and on today's edition, we'll be taking a look at developments in Edo State, Nigeria. And my guests are High Chief Sir Hilary Ehoye, KSM, the ESL of Igwebe Kingdom in Edo State. You're welcome to the program, High Chief.
Thank you very much.
I also have Dr. You're welcome. Good to have you with us. I also have Dr. Courage Ijegede, who is the CEO, Courage Consultants in Germany. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Franca. It's my pleasure to be on set with you and the High Chief.
Thank you for being on the set with us. And then we have another special guest on this program, Mr. Alex Oluwole Ajala from UK, but unfortunately he will be joining us later. He is a historian and a well-versed man in the field of study. All right, so welcome to the program, gentlemen, once again. While we start, we're going to look at developments in Edo State, and then we cannot begin to discuss Edo State without having an overview or the history of Edo State in perspective. Hi, Chief, I need to come in here. Can you give us a brief history of Edo State in general?
Thank you, Franca, Madam, and all the viewers. It's a pleasure to be here. Talking of the history of Edo State, you know, where we have it that Edo is the cradle of civilization because all of us migrated from there to the present area, which we are having towns today in all over the state created again now from 1996 to say it's now Edo State. Otherwise, we have been living together under one umbrella, under the Edo of the Oba Benin, starting from the time of Wari, where all of us, during the war of that time, where all of us, because of one problem of the other, one challenges of the other, different towns emerge. Because of the rules at that time, most of the people were not able to adhere to what the rule of the Oba. Then we start finding our ways. Especially like myself talking to you as they are self-Igwebe. In the 15th, 16th century, we from Benin also, we are warriors. Our ancestors or our forefathers were warriors. Today, we have to settle in the land of Igwebe. As the name connotes, Igwe Eben. We normally have farmers there and other warriors those days. But today, those things have changed. We have other towns that have evolved from Benin, talking of Ekboma. No, Oiboma has colonized that one to be Ekboma. Normally, it's supposed to be Ekuma. We have Iwu, which is Elu. We have Urumi, Ubiaja, even the Humodeho. All others, to Auchi, we went as far as having to Ahaba, which today they call Asaba. We have the Kas, we have the Isokos, the Urobos. The Edo people went as far to Atlantic Ocean, even as far as to Lagos State today or Dahomey, which although the Iboma connoted to be Dahomey, we have Dahomey. That is the proper thing, the name we have for it. That's how Edo people evolved. Today, it's a mountainous state where in 1996, where it was created, we now have Delta and Edo State. But in Edo State, it had been very wonderful. Since the creation of Edo State, many things have happened in terms of development, of which you are asking me. And I know as time goes on, we start unveiling or we start discussing the true development of that area. Historically, we are one, all of us involved from Benin City, which is called Edo, Uledo. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, High Chief. I would have wanted our historian, Mr. Ajala, to make a contribution there, but I still hope he's able to join us in the next possible minutes. But while we wait for him, Mr. Courage Jegede, please, do you have anything to add to what the High Chief just said?
Well, what the High Chief unveiled is the truth. And I learned so much from what he said because there were a few things I didn't know that actually connect those states. When they say Dahomey, Idahomey, is today I'm just knowing, and a lot of powerful revelations. And I'm sure it will have a lot of audience too. Maybe they may be within my age group or younger than me, that they must have learned so much from what the chief has unveiled to us. And aside from that, we'll not take the gospel to others that this is what Edo is. And he actually enriched my knowledge about my state, Edo State. Once again, thank you so much, Chief, for this sublime. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Ijigede. All right, when High Chief was talking, he tried to make mention of development in Edo State and the other land, and make statement that definitely we are going to get it, and now is the right time to discuss that. But we talk about development, we talk about infrastructure, we talk about the roads, educational sector, and power sector, and every other that has to do with building up of a state itself. Mr. Jigede, I need you to come in there. I'll get the perspective of High Chief, but let's start with you this time. Development in Edo State. What are your views on it? How far have we gone?
Well, development in Edo State. I'm in the diaspora, and I'm not on ground. But the High Chief is on ground. He knows better. I don't want to present issues like an armchair critics, but based on what I've had, stories from friends and where we share from Edo State, I think the governor is doing a great job because there is something you should understand about development. Is a continuous process. Okay, so let's look at the issue from Ambrose Ali. He gave me free education. Okay, he gave us the health institution, and he did a lot to construct road and attract foreign investors to Edo State. But he may not be, or he may not be the saving grace to actually put Edo the way we want it to be. That's why subsequent government, they should add a little to where he stopped and what he did. And that we've seen all over the years. This is why I'm not really in that page whereby you begin to criticize every government. All they need is compliments. Good, let's back to what our governor Obaseki is doing. I learned he has tied some roads in Benin City. What does that mean? He's trying to add to what his predecessors they've been doing. I learned he constructed some schools. He may not be able to refix or work on all the schools in Edo State, but the point is this: he is doing something, and whenever he leaves in the next few months, or I don't know how long he's going to stay, but as God will have it, we don't have a third term. I know he's doing a second term. Whenever he's leaving, whoever is coming will only compliment his effort. So these are my views. So on a personal note, I think they are doing great. Edo State is not what it used to be 100 years ago. Edo State is not what it used to be a few years ago. Yes, governance, there are challenges with security situations, but I think with collaborations with the central government and is this desire to do more, we'll get to our promised lands. So I think we'll hear more about the situation from our High Chief, who will tell us more. Yeah. Thank you so much, Franca. Thank you so much, High Chief, for this opportunity again. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jegede. You did mention of one thing I picked from what you said, which is complementing efforts, which is we can lead us to continuity. We'll get to that actually, the role of continuity in governance. But before we get to the High Chief, let's get, you are on ground, you are in Edo State. You say things that most of us are not saying there, like even I am not in Edo State as well. We've heard news, we've heard stories about developments in Edo State. So what are your views on it? Those news we hear from diaspora, from outside Edo State, are they true?
I think Jagere was really right on the track. He was really right on the track because if we look back, I'm no longer a small boy. Starting from 1970, when the then military Ogbemudia was the governor. He did a lot in terms of infrastructure. We have a lot of network of roads that time. The continuous government, as he has said, is a continuity. They have built on that. Even when the military came, they may not have done as much before the year 1999, when we have the governor at that time, Lucky Gbinedion, who tried in his way for development. He tried to tie most of the roads. He built cassava factory at Urumi, a hot juice mill, fertilizer industry in Atikpeshi, in Gara side. When the successful government came, they continued with that. Yes, they may not have be able to meet all the needs of the people. You know, the economy has always told on us. When this man came, Oshomole, he tried his best, especially in the donut. When we are talking about Uchi, Igara and others, almost all the roads there were tied. He even gave them an institution, today known as Edo University, Iyamu, which he have opened that sector, that area, a donut. Coming to this area, he was able to at least red roof everywhere, all the primary and secondary school. That I will give that kudo to him and credit to him. As he said, government is a continuous one. With the coming of Obaseki, who will be leaving us November 12th next year, that is 2024, he has made his mark in terms of roads. Today, you get to Bini, I'm telling you, he has done wonderfully well there. There are other developments he has brought. We are talking of refinery now. We are talking of the seaport at Gelegele. He had really touched the lives of so many people. But he may not have been able to get the area of all the roads because, as I will let you know, almost 40% of the road we have here is federal roads. And they have not ventured to enter the federal road. But on the state road, which he has concentrated on, I think he has done wonderfully well. And I know with what they are doing, if the incoming government in November next year continue, we will really have a good development when it comes to infrastructure. Other areas, as I was.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
On other areas, I think the government, the present government is really trying to touch the life of the people by touching various local government. At least I know what the government is doing. At least tied no less than 1 kilo or 2 kilos in all the local government we have in the states. And that one is presently going on. Thank you very much. That's what I can say when it comes to development, what the government is doing presently.
All right, thank you so much, Hi Chief. That was quite enlightening. All right, when you were talking, we did mention one way or the other about continuity in governance. And when we look at it, we discover that in Nigeria, we don't really have much of continuity in governance because one party comes and then makes their own policies, their own rules, their own laws, and then they build it to a certain stage when they are leaving office. And then a new leadership comes in. Instead of continuing the development of the incumbent, he starts his own. And at times, the old projects are left incompleted. All right. Now, as people in power, let me start with you, Mr. Jegede. What is the advantage of continuity in governance? When we do continuity, what do we stand to gain from it? Using the Edo State perspective.
Good. Thank you so much, Franca, again. If you are saying continuity in governance, one of the advantages, because you have a lot, but we call the time box, we may not be able to discuss so much. It enhances sustainable development. If you are looking a lot of these developed nations, how Once a system leaves, one leaves, wherever he or she stops, the other continues. In other words, if we can replicate such in those states, irrespective of the political party, let it be Labour, PDP, APC, name them. The point is, if one is leaving, wherever he stops, the incoming government should continue. It enhances sustainable development virtually in all the structures. That's what we'll do. So that's number one. Then, okay, that was the question you asked me anyway. It enhances sustainable development. Thank you so much, Franca.
Yeah. Apart from that, you are in Germany.
It enhances, Franca. It enhances. But the problem we are always having is the change of different political parties. Because the different political party that comes, they have their different ideologies. For example, APC handed over to PDP. PDP handed over to APC. APC again handed over to PDP. When they are trying to go through their own manifestos to supply the people, you find out that they deviate from the past government. You see, sustainability will not be able to be sustained. I pray that Nigeria all the politicians should not rely solely on what their manifesto entails, but let's see the development which a previous government had left behind. So if you continue, the development we are talking will get to every known and corner of the state. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly. I'll get to you.
A little to what Chief said.
I'll get to you. I'll still need to take it up from there.
Okay.
But I want us to see it as the party and the state and development of the state, which should be greater. The development of the state.
Good.
Right? So it should be above party.
Yes.
Whatever.
That's what I want to add, because when you place their interests, one, they were voted for a purpose. Irrespective of how they got there,
yes,
somebody voted for them. And they are there to represent the interests of those who voted for them. And those who voted for them should be able to actually get what you call these dividends of democracy. What am I saying in essence is this: they should place the interest of the people above their personal interest. A good example, if Obaseki start constructing a primary school or secondary school somewhere, and peradventure resources they are not there to complete the program, but whoever is coming in wouldn't say because he is not in PDP or APC that project should be abandoned. No. If that person places the interest of the people above his personal interest, he will continue from where Obaseki stopped. That's why I said it breeds sustainable development. If they can put their party affiliations, their wrong mindset aside, it will help to develop the state to the area, to the state we want it to be, that we'll be proud of. That's my thinking, Franca. Yeah.
Is that right? I'll still need to pick it up from there. You still need to add one or two things to that. I want you to give us the diasporal experience. You are in Germany, and it seems relating to the continuity now. Give us the German or the German example. How are they able to make sure that all they do there, their developments are being sustained? Let's get
good. Like I've been here for quite some time. You see, one, you create an atmosphere that enhances continuous development. That means the enabling laws should be able to support, or policies, whatever you call it, to support continuous development. Number two, there should be this mindset I want to serve. I'll give you an example. There are some constructions taking place here. They may start during the CDU, because in my state you have the major political party, they are CDU, the Christian Democratic Union, and of course the SPD, the SDP, the Social Democratic Party. If CDU, they're in power, they start construction. Budget has been made. Remember, budget, the money we are spending belongs to the people. This is taxpayer money. It's taxpayer money. So we want to see the money we are paying as tax. What are you using the money to do? When they stop somewhere, this road will not end there. There will be continuation. That is the point I'm making. And that's how they have been able to do massive infrastructural development in this country. And the same applies to a lot of these countries around me. what I will say, what is the take-home message? If those people can do the same thing, wherever Obaseki stop, whoever is coming in should place their interest. You know the good thing is this. A lot of them, they travel. They travel a lot. They've been to Germany, they've been to America, they've been to UK. They understand what is happening. A lot of them, okay, they have their family, their children schooling abroad. So it will be out of sheer, I don't know, this is what they ought to do. So whatever they are learning, whatever they are saying, they should go and get the why. Why is Germany where they are today? Once they can answer the question why, the how is easier for them to replicate in Nigeria. What I would say, wherever Obaseki stop, because now we are discussing our Edo State, whoever is coming in, don't actually be judgmental. Don't play blame games. Don't try to score cheap political goals. Continue from where he stopped. And that will enable us to try to do this sustainable development that we're talking about. So that's the way it works in Germany. A lot of the developed country, if we can replicate that in our state, Edo State, it's going to be wonderland.
At this point now, I do wish Mr. Alex Oluwole Ajala is here with us, because he will have been able to give us the UK experience of how development is being handled over there. But unfortunately, he's still yet to join us. We do hope he joins us soon. But when High Chief was talking, he did make mention of the refinery. We won't discuss that, but the port as well. We want to discuss the port that is currently being handled now in Edo State. All right, High Chief, I'd like to start with you. Give us a perspective of the Edo port, all right, currently ongoing. Is it the Edo port, the seaport? Yeah, the seaport. Is it a welcome? Yeah, exactly. Is it? Would you consider it a welcome development or otherwise?
Yes. Judging from what we, just to start from where Courage stopped. If those in overseas, our brothers in diaspora, can bring down here in our country what operates over that side, we'll be very, very happy. Because most of them only go there for holidaying. Whatever is happening there, they don't even remember to bring it here. All what they are interested is, safe. When we are having something like that, development cannot really occur. I think that is the problem we are really having. That is why we are encouraging people like you who are in Germany, UK, and others to come back home. When they come back home to help us reshaping the mind of our people, who the people supposed to be representing, the politicians supposed to be representing, we will have a lot of development. Coming to your question, with the little we know, with the little some of us, most of you who have traveled out, seaport is something that is a welcome development anywhere in the world. When Obaseki came, we thought that it was not going to be a reality. But today, I will tell you that seaport, apart from what we are hearing, which is cannot be sustained, that the other license has not been given, is already completed. And we know it is going to enhance the economy of this country. Instead of you go to Lagos, or you go to River State, or Nene River State, to go and discharge your goods, here at your backyard, you discharge you get all those goods down. The cost of going to Lagos or go to any other area will be minimized. In fact, it's going to enhance the economy of Edo State. And everyone, whether you are a politician, whether you are a civil servant, we are very happy of that development for having Giligili Port to come to be a reality for all of us.
Is it already a reality? Is the seaport already ready?
Yes, I mean, if you hear me, apart from the normal bureaucracy, I know by next year or so, before the demand this office, that seaport, we will be having various activities going on there, because all the civil work has been completed. I think that is what is even the most important thing, the civil works there. He has done that, and today, I tell you, if Obaseki has not scored any point with that, he has scored a major point. And we pray the continuity should be there. That whoever government, whichever party that comes, that whatever may be left there, that the man will be able to take up from there and complete it for us.
That's a great one. Thank you so much, sir. When you were talking, you did mention of the fact that the diaspora, sons and daughters in diaspora are needed back home to shaping this development that we are all talking about. Now, let me just chip in here that the main focus of Cleveland.com, which is the platform you are using to communicate to each other now in this interview, is actually just that. That's what our focus is, to bridge the gap, the developmental gap, business gap, and otherwise of diaspora and then the African market. All right. What Cleveland.com exists for is just to do what? To create awareness for our community. Because you agree with me that until those in diaspora know what is going on in your community, there is no way that they can come or want to like come back home to come and invest in that community. So please, at least it's a plus for us as Cleveland.com. We are trying to do one thing on each other to make sure that we contribute our own quota towards the bridging of the gap.
It's highly commendable. It's highly commendable.
Right. Thank you.
What people are doing is highly commendable.
Right. Thank you.
Because in fact, the one we had before, it has encouraged some of our sons and daughters to come back home and start developing our area. So we commend this station.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, Mr. Jigade, please, I need you to say one or two things about the Benin port, the seaport. When you heard of it, you're in Germany, when you heard of it, or with what you've known about it, how excited are you that such a project is being handled in Edo State?
I was, look, it was mind-blowing, excited, because I know from my background in entrepreneurship and family business, the impact, the benefit of such ports, not only to Edo State, but those states around us. For example, it will enhance massive job creation. Massive, I say massive, because a lot of people around Gele, they'll bring up a lot of business they'll be doing. It's not about the port alone. There are other industries affiliated to the ports. It means they'll be coming up. Aside from that, even people that will be going there to sell their pure water, to sell things to the users, is going to enhance a job creation. Apart from that, when you are bringing in ports, there are a lot of infrastructures that should be in place. It means there will be constructions. The road linking Gele will be constructed, and this is going to provide security. I'm saying from port alone, a lot of things that is going to happen. Apart from increased infrastructural development, I want to look at increased trades. What is going to bring to us? If you look at the Edo State axis, Edo is blessed. The position is good. If you look at the Gele ports, if it is done, going to Onitsha, going to Aganebode, going to Delta State will not be a problem. What am I saying in essence is this: the port can serve people in Onitsha. We know what they do with all their importations here and there. It's going to serve them. Let us focus more on Edo State. Every nook and cranny of Edo State is blessed. If you go to Humode, Eho, I remember when I was very young, see a lot of pineapple. I don't want to say wasting is along the roads. If you go to Aganebode, you hear about rice. If you go hear about Ilushi rice, a lot of resources. If you have this port, it will help us to coordinate those resources. Then we're going to export them to outside the country. Let's look at another area people may not know. Let's look at transportation. If you want to drive from Lagos to Benin City, even when the roads are perfect, you need about 3 hours. Let's assume no toll gate, the road is fine, at least 3 hours. But with the condition of the road right now, you may need about maybe more hours. If you now construct transportation maybe through the sea, from Gele to whatever, Lagos, it will take you less than 2 hours to be there. You can see that means our people in Edo State, they can even stay in Edo State, in their house, their family house in Edo State, and be working in Lagos. They will come home comfortably. And while we are moving towards Edo State, even those who are actually in Ondo or Ogun State they can still join the transition system and get to Lagos. You see, it's going to be a win-win for all. And like what the High Chief said, wherever Obaseki will be leaving the situations, he will be leaving the seaport. Our prayer is whoever is taking over should be able to take the interest of Edo State above his personal interest and make sure this project continues. It is going to turn around. Is it Igara you're talking about? Is it Igwebe? Is it Ekpoma? Whatever product we are getting right there, this seaport become like a collation center. You can get them outside the country. Aside from that, even the goods we are importing, like what the chief said, if you want to get something, a container from Lagos or whatever it is from Lagos to Edo State, it costs a lot of money. From Port Harcourt, a lot of money. If we now have it, we'll say at the back of our house, we'll spend less. It therefore means the money you will have spent, because you are looking at expenses right now, the income, yes, you can invest it in other projects. So we can't just stop discussing. I rejoice so much to hear about the seaport in Edo State. I just pray it becomes a reality, because what you have in Germany, virtually a lot of the states in Germany, they have the same thing. Close to my house here in Noise, they have one. Transport cars to Belgium, transport steel to different areas. It makes things cheaper. Once you have that seaport anyway, oh, Mr. Jala, you're welcome on board. Once you have the seaport, what about the rail system? It means invariably you will now be connecting the rail system to that place. So, Franca, it is a win-win for us. And I pray we'll just continue from where Obaseki has stopped. Thank you so much. That's my few comments about the seaport.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Jagede. That was beautiful. That was great. That was interesting. And yes, Mr. Ajala is finally here with us.
Just
Mr.
a
Ajala,
minute. I need to use my headphone.
Oh, very important, sir. Thank you for joining us. All right, Hi Chief, before he comes in, do you have anything to contribute to what Mr. Jagede just said? Justification of
I think he has given all the benefits we can derive from having Gilgili Port, which all of us know really is going to be a turnaround for all of us living in Edo State here. As he has said, even as far as to Kogi to the north, we have cut short the transportation problem and many other benefits where enhance these are jobless youths. They will now have something to hold on to. Even one of our women, instead of me going to Lagos to go and clear any of my goods, I take a stroll to my backyard here, to clear any of our goods, and it's going to really give a big turnaround if it's able to be completed. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Jala, thank you for joining us. And we've gone far in our discussions.
I know. My apologies to co-panelists. I mistimed. I thought I was not late, and I took my time. Was on my way home, not knowing that my time has changed from that of yours.
Oh.
Well, that's what happened. I thought it was.
Mr. Jala, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Welcome. Thank you very much. And I'm happy to be with you again. And what you have just said last interests me. And interests me so much so that it affects the whole of the southern part of the country. It's an abandoned territory. That's one thing. If some of you, I believe, Chief Hillary, I will call you, must have traveled along most of Nigeria, and you see the abandonment that has happened in the south. It's a situation that we don't have to be in a position where we have to accept what is happening. Our leadership have accepted rubbish for too long, from 1962. It's not just now. It's not the APC, PDP, whatever. It has started a long time. I grew up into it. I knew the time when roads were good, even untarred roads were well maintained. You remember, sir? There were gutters on each side that would drain the roads, and then covers that would cut across those untarred roads to make sure that they don't get swept away during the rain. Apart from that, there are so many other things we need to discuss. Government does not see itself as responsible to the people. They say it by mouth. If they are responsible to the people, no unborn child will suffer horrors in the tummy of their mother. If they are responsible to the people, no child of infant age should suffer, because that's the future of any nation. I am here, I know how they plan for even the unborn child, the child that will be born 6 or 7 years' time, what is going to be available for that child. You see, we in Africa are not responsible to our people. That's the fact. We want to see them to come and beg us and be calling us Oloye. We don't qualify as Oloyes if we cannot be responsible to our people. That's my take so far. And I'm happy this situation has come. And I'm engaged with another program immediately I finish this. And it's on the same issue. We have to wake up as Africans. We are not responsible to our people at all. It is not a life that we should be enjoying. The fact that I'm here and there's light and everything does not make me feel happy. Because I know somewhere in the village or in the Ekure, somewhere in Akoko, in Saple, in Badagry, in Wari or Port Harcourt, they are suffering. That's what we should take as pride, and that the little we do, we ring a bell that we have achieved something. We haven't. We haven't achieved anything. We are plodding the way. We are in a quagmire. We should wake up to reality that each area should be in control of its own resource. That's one of the points. Because when Western Nigeria was in control of its own resources, some of you, Chief Hilary, you must know what I'm talking about, if I'm not wrong.
Correct.
So this is what we should be. We should not mortgage ourselves in the situation whereby we are trying to manage a country when we shouldn't be managing. It's a failed amalgam. I will say it, and I want to contest it to anybody. It's a failed amalgam. It has to be dissolved so that we can start to develop properly. I will say it. It's not a campaign. It's a reality that I'm telling everyone who is listening, right from the north to the east and to the west. We are not responsible to our people at all. I know of a road, hold on. A road. I'm coming to another issue of construction and development. There's a road that was signed up that had been completed way back 2016, when no caterpillar had gone to there, and the money had been paid out. That's the kind of country we have to sustain. I'm happy some people are waking up to see the reality, but they have to go deeper into why has it been like this. Does it have to take 75 years before the part?
Yeah? That is why we need people like you in diaspora to come and start lighting our people at home. We are accusing our bureau domain. We are doing this, but some of you who are far off in diaspora, you should come home and start lighting most of our people.
I do come regularly, and I've even advised some people, and they've changed particularly in housing. How do you build houses with a stiff roof? I told them this is wrong. This is tropical Africa. You have to build almost nearly a flat or C curve, whereby at the end of the day, you can now put solar panel. People can climb on it easily and do any fixing. You see, we haven't started development. I feel some of the time when I'm in the midst, I feel like crying.
Well, Mr. Ajala, what you are saying is this: I'm happy you've been in the UK for quite a long time. No, development is not solely in the hands of the government. Even the UK, you are living today. If you are telling me, based on the empirical facts on ground that it is strictly in the hand of the government, I will disagree with you. But
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
When we get to that session,
hold on.
I think I'll be glad we'll share exactly how does it work.
Yes. How it works. Government has to enable critical infrastructure to be on the ground so that the people want to invest.
I think Frank should have a question on that when it gets to that session called the timing.
Exactly.
So,
we are still
I did not say that development is solely in the hands of government.
Hello, sirs. Let's not make this rowdy, okay? Or else the people that we are trying to reach with the message will not get to understand what we are saying. All right. I totally agree with from where Mr. Jalal is coming from. But let's take a look at it because High Chief said something earlier, and Mr. Jigede said something earlier about what the present government, all right, has done in Edo State. All right. But we also have to look at what other forms of government are doing. For example, the local government chairman, the councillors, and all that are responsible for their own people. We can't just put everything in the hands of the government, because
I didn't say that.
Exactly. Now, what are the responsibilities, or what should be the responsibilities of the local government chairman, the councillors, and the closer leadership to the people? All right. And again, what are the roles of the private sector in developing a state using the Edo State perspective? Mr. Jigede, let's get to hear from you. Dr. Jigede, we'll come back to you.
Thank you so much. Like what I said, I'm not a student who do actually blame games. When it comes to development, let's look at those structures you said. The local governments, the state governments. They get funds from the central, okay? Money given to them, and they have their IGRO. It means they have their role to play in the development of Edo State. Aside from that, quote me really good, government alone cannot develop Edo State. In this case, I would always suggest like a hybrid approach that will involve the government, Governor Obaseki, involve the local government, involve private sectors, involve the civil servants that will enable us to get Edo State the way we want to be, even religious leaders. So if we begin to chip in the little, that means including myself, including the High Chief, including Ajala, I cannot develop the whole of Igwebe as of today. But the little I can do, I should do it. If we all contribute in this perspective, we should be able to get at least sow a little seed that the incoming generation will start from. Franca, back to your question. My answer is straightforward. I will actually suggest a hybrid framework that will include the private sector, the public sector, and of course, the civil union. And that enables us to bring development closer to the people. I remember those days when I was still very young in my village, Igwebe. People, they went into different activities. Some were selling groundnut, selling bread, doing different things. And they were able to empower their immediate community. That is the kind of, spirit I want us to have. Yes, the government, they have a role to play. They have a role to play. If they can give us an enabling environment, create that kind of security that will encourage investors to come in, that will help us to get Edo State to where we want Edo State to be. So that's my contribution now. Maybe with time, I'll tell you more how to implement such a framework to get Edo State to the next level of development. Thank you so much, Franca. Mr. Ajala, thank you so much. Of course, the High Chief, I appreciate your presence. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much for that analysis, Mr. Jigede. High Chief, I'd like to get your own opinion. What is the role of the private investors?
Madam Franca, thank you for this question. And Ajala, you are welcome once again. I think Courage has really dwelled on self-sustaining or calling or believing that our sons and daughters in diaspora will help us. But if you come to Edo State, how many local government can really sustain themselves? At the end of the month, all of them go cap in hand to the central pool, which Ajala wanted to bring up just now to say we must have these olden days where we we did restructuring entirely of the economy. I don't say that time was dwelling on rubber, and we're able to tie rules. They were able to Sadebe was able to build so many other things. Even USA of Benin, although it was from the federal government, but we have a larger trunk of our contribution. But today, I will tell you, the local government cannot even tie a road. Apart from Oledo, Ego, maybe Kubaka, there's no other local government. What is the IGR there? Zero, next to nothing. Therefore, we must revive back to our sons and daughters who have been very wonderful. For example, like my Gweben local government, our sons like Corey, they have been very wonderful. Even if you help to train some of our children, they are giving them scholarship, they are taking them to different type of training, at least to uplift their lives. But just now, I will tell you, Madam Franca, that if not our sons who are becoming to help us develop the local government, we would still be where we are. Yes, Chief Tommy Kimi tried when the local government was created by giving us electricity and roads. Apart from that, few areas the government had just touched their hand. But our sons and daughters, you need to come to the town now. They are bringing so many things, little things that will uplift the life of our people. So I strongly believe we need to not to rely on government at all, because the government cannot help us at all. We must help ourselves, especially those people who are outside. They should come home with the little they can get. Let them bring it up. We have some school in the University of AU and Prosali University here, a diamond everywhere. If you get to some structures here, it's our sons and daughters who are coming to be building them. Then get to Igwebe, College of Education. If you want to leave it for government for now, I don't think up to 2 buildings or 3 buildings will be functioning. But we still have our people who are there doing a lot of work. So I want to plead with some of our sons and daughters who are outside that they should not be tired. Because if we leave this thing for the government, we will just be where we are. If you like, go to the National Assembly, who does not even care for where they come from. All they know there is a personal aggrandizement. They buy cars, they buy anything and others. But whereas in our area here, even if they bring a solar system, 3 posts, they will want you to come and celebrate them. But between me, you, and Courage, it's only you who will come. Don't even want publicity. They arrest all these things. But I will say, on our own side, for example, in Igwebe, most of our sons and daughters, they are trying. We encourage them to do more. Thank you very much.
Hello, sirs.
Yes, Frank.
Yeah, Mr. Jala, yeah, Mr. Jala, please take it from where he stopped. I'm sorry I was off there for a minute. Please, let's get you hear your own contribution.
I'm laughing. We have so much been traumatized, and we forgot that government has the biggest template for development, where other sons and daughters will now start to chip in. Development is not in the hands of sons and daughters to come and doing NGO. It happens here, everywhere in the world. The first basic thing is that government is there to take care of the people, putting in place the enabling environment to make it happen. It is their responsibility. Why do we elect? You just said something, they buy cars and so on. Why should they be buying cars? What's their responsibility? Why do we elect them? I just said something before. They cannot be Oloye until we, as the electors, make them Oloye because of their contribution to the society. I intended free education up to university. Was it not government? Well planned, proper tax system, good roads. We could travel anytime in the night. Sometimes I wake up maybe midnight. Oh, I'm going to Benin. Oh, I'm going to Ibadan. No problem. We have so much squeezed down government responsibility to providing the enabling environment for the growth of an economy, a sustainable economy, which happened in the past. You mentioned the rubber plantation. At that time, After the rubber industry people have exported theirs, the rest of the rubber, young men and women were making mattresses, heavy foams. In Benin, in Ibadan, I know some of them. They are making mattresses.
My friend, what you are saying is very correct. Now that those things
Then
are
we
not
have,
there, are we
hold
going to
on.
live in that? The government is not
Then
doing
that is
anything for
why,
us like that. What do
if we
do?
believe them now, then we sack them. We call them to order. We have the right, but we forget that we have the right. We are scared to exercise our right. The
But
right,
sir,
because
if you recommend,
we
sir,
are
if
the
you
people
recommend
who them there in
sacking,
the first place. That
sir,
is why
if you recommend,
the message
sir,
I'm going to be singing to everybody. When we are
exactly,
trying to
sir,
develop, but we'll be singing that you are there, you are supposed, even I was reading something after 75 years, they want to build a port. That port had been there, the white man had already identified that to build a port here. There's the government then said that we are going to build it when you go. Have they built it since 1962? Look at Ethiopia and the rubber industry and all that. Where are they now? We ran them down, yet we come out again to be blaming the white man. No, it's our fault. It happened I've traveled a lot around Africa. I've seen that the fault of lack of development in Africa is in the hands of the people. Because sometimes we say, okay, government cannot do it. Why are they there in the first place? Let us answer that question. Why are they there if they are not? What is the role of government? Is it not to, they are not supposed to do everything. They're supposed to be contributory. They're supposed to give a template for development so as to be able to have people moving. So that people, okay, you are telling people selling granite and so on. What if there are no roads to the farms? Would they have the granite to sell?
Okay, so what you are saying is that we are almost on the same page.
We have to.
Government should give us an enabling environment for investors to come in. That's what we'll be saying.
Exactly.
Government cannot do it alone. So I told you.
I'm not saying they are doing it alone.
Is not there. Are we going to put our hands?
They have.
Are we going to put our hands?
I didn't say they should put our hands. I said while they provide that enabling environment, we will continue to put inputs. Like in the universities, where the alumni association will build certain research centers, in addition to what government have put in, because that's what happens. But if that foundation is not there, and you put all those things there, and there's no electricity, the whole thing goes back. That we've tried it now in case. See, one major thing. Look at in Osogbo, machine tool industry, where young men and women, if those tools were being manufactured, 1964, you remember, Chief, was set up. If they were manufacturing tools, all those young men and women want to use their hands, will get tools to use. That is the facilities there. The same year that Brazil started its own machine tool industry. Now, Brazil is the fourth largest exporter of military hardware. Where's our own? The same year that we set up Kaduna defense industry, 1964.
Well, that's a very big topic.
You see,
but looking at maintenance and fiscal discipline is a big topic.
Yeah, that is it. And that is why
it's a big topic.
It's different entirely. Yes.
Mr. Ajala, I do wish you had come in on time, but our time is hard spent, and I really want us to let's stay the focus of Edo State. All right, yes. You did make mention of sacking. If, for example, in a leader is not working, that the leader can be sacked. Yeah. All right, but how are we sure that when you sack one, the one coming in after that will do better than this?
We are sure, because you'll be afraid that if he doesn't, the people will sack him again. That was how Europe changed itself. Look at here in Britain. In the last 4 years, about 4 prime ministers have emerged because we were not performing. 4 prime ministers.
Yes, sir. But what you are saying is that you look at the development of their democratic structure.
And then we have
the structure. Because our democracy today.
Sorry to interrupt you. We had it, but the followers and the leaders made sure that it collapsed. Because when a leader will now select a few thugs to be protecting him and shutting down the mouths of those who are saying the truth? How do you develop? I laugh because we are not in a democratic environment. We are just plodding through a quagmire of what I would call it, feudal oligarchy. That's what it is. And we pretend that we have an election. And we have the people that we have to develop. I like to travel through my homeland. I like to travel even to go on the boats, like the Agbabu boat which I rode in 1956. Agbabu to Okitupa, to Focados, and back. And Burutu, you know those places, sir.
And Chief. That's what Gelege will give to us. We can still get boats that will take people from Benin City right to Lagos, Ondo State, Ogun State, transportation. Yeah. And that's under beauty, the economic impact, the seaports, if realized, will have on the people of those states.
Exactly. That's what I want. That's what I want. So that places like the Ayetoro in near Okitupa that was built on water should be revived. And then you see, we will have more tourists to see our land if we have that critical infrastructure put in place. Look at how long it took for the railway in Wari to be opened. When I come each time, when I go through Rome and then there to my in-laws' house, town. Yeah. So I see the railway. Because then I asked the Olopa who's getting money. I say, when is the railway passing? He said, railway, sir. There's no railway. So it can, and you stifle development. It's a sad thing. And yet we have intellectuals at home who don't even talk about it. If you are not using it for the Ajakuta industry, why not use it for passenger distance? To move goods and services quickly from Itakwe to Wari.
But today it's functioning. We take off from
functioning. About twice a day.
The railway is functioning.
I know. It was because I wrote something about it some years back.
Mr.
Before
Ajala?
they started it. I did.
Mr. Ajala?
Yes.
Mr. Ajala, let me ask you this. You've been able to analyze the different disadvantages and some others about development in the state that is not meeting up to the expectation. Now, you are recommending a change in the sector, right? Yeah. Whose responsibility is it to rectify these established bad trends that you just analyzed?
It's the people.
Who should do that?
It's the people.
So how the people, right?
Yeah,
you talk about that and you see tell us, how can they do it?
Because if they are informed, if a people are informed like the chief is, and his own people talking to them regularly, look, it is the government to provide an enabling environment for you who is selling this thing to be able to sell. For you who is a carpenter to be able to make your furniture. For you who is a haberdasher to be able to make your clothes. It just enables. Okay, let me tell you, I was sad about one thing. I had this thing, furniture maker. Very good in the local village. He made all my furniture. And when my friends came from Lagos and everywhere, oh, you just came, you imported this. I said, no. I ordered, when I knew that electricity is available in this town, I said they should make this thing for me. And they was, we like it. It's not imported. But the advice of it was, suddenly, light went for 6 months. The carpenter became a beggar. He even contemplated becoming a robber to be able to feel. Is that not sad? That's what is causing armed robbery. You see, we don't see it. Most of those boys who are armed robbers don't choose to be armed robbers. If they develop, they will. Most of them who are prostitutes don't choose to be prostitutes. Yes.
It's all right. It's all right. Mr. Jala, thank you so much for that. Yeah,
Chief, I'm happy to meet you.
I'll take.
Thank you very much.
I'll take our last questions now, and I'll take it around everybody because I would really like others in the state, all right, leaders in the state, people in authority in the state to come up on this program, and then let's begin to discuss topical issues as it affects Nigeria as a whole like this. It's an invite to everybody in leadership, not just even the government sector, but also the public sector and then the private sector.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take this last question. Let's get to hear this. We talked of creating an enabling environment, all right? What can be done? We keep mentioning that all the time. What can be done to create this enabling environment to attract investors, all right? And then make investments flourish in the state. We are using the Edo State example. Now, please let's not deviate from Edo State because we are talking about Edo State today. What can we do? Let me start from Mr. Ijerede. Please, let's get to hear your view.
Well, thank you so much, Franca. Thank you so much, Mr. Jella, and of course, our High Chief. A lot. Number one, if you are saying enabling environment, what can attract investor? One, you talk about security. Security is so important because I can't remember the year. I can't dream of any day I will ever think of getting a police escort here in Germany to move from one point to another point. When we were at home those days, we can travel any parts, just like what Mr. Jella said. But today, I'm not sure that is going to be the situation. If somebody coming to invest is not sure that his investment is secured, his life is secured, he may not want to come. That's so important. Number two, let's look at the issue of good governance. Because a lot of things we are saying that if we don't have good governance, if we cannot fight corruption, we'll have a lot of issues to do with. I still want to suggest, of course, let us have a good governance in place, a strong institution that will say, okay, because of this, people, they are coming home. Above all, you see, the world is moving. Exactly. We are moving towards what I'll call something like more technological environments. Exactly. So what effort are we doing in this direction? A very good example, when my dad, may he so rest in peace, when he was doing bread those days when I was very young, yes, we used this kind of a structure he was using, get the bread into the oven. But today it has changed because of technology. So if Governor Baseki, one, can give us such a strong institution, security. Number two, technology, bring them in. How? Through schools, through trainings, and many, many structures. Then security. Above all, let's go to the area I just love, these small and medium enterprises. Give them soft loan. Give them things they can access. All those laws that if you want to get a loan, you get a loan of about 1 million. If you have to pay back, you pay back 10 million. Even accessing soft loan will be a problem. These are areas we can look into. So I just think these are a few things you can do that will enable infrastructure, people to come and invest. What about good roads? What about good road? If we have to produce right in my village, Igwebe, and we know we don't have the road to take it to Lagos or Gelegele, before we get to maybe Eho, the car is done. It's going to affect us. So a lot the government has to do on their own parts that will attract investors to come to Edo State and do the needful. Thank you so much, Franca. No.
Thank you so much. Hi, Chief. Let's get to hear your view. Hi, Chief, sir.
Hello. Sorry.
Yeah.
Are you getting me?
Let's get to exactly, sir. Let's get to hear your view. What can be done to create an enabling environment to attract investors to Edo State?
Yes. Thank you, other panelists, and I think Jagade has already dwells on what we must be done to help our people. Education, they have dwell on that. Infrastructure, have dwell on that. Security-wise, have dwell on that. And if we have energy, I think that one will equally help us. Then this education to our people, because we must not wait for government alone.
Yes,
I hope you are hearing me.
Very clear.
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Education, we must educate our people because they are so improvised, our people, that they are so poor that common 1,000 can change anything they want to do. That is the politicians. So that if all of us can come and all of us give this education and training to our people, they'll be able to fight for their rights. Then for the whole thing to continue, this continuity If we have good continuity with what government has done to today, and if we have that, we believe that if any other government comes, our life will be improved. I want to encourage all those our brothers and sisters outside to help us to come back home, to help us to reshape this state. By the time we do that, we will find out that this development we are talking about, the old days we are trying to bring back, will really come back. In terms of security, we have really improved. We have really improved. Gone and about a year ago or 6 months ago, you are hearing that people are kidnapped and others. I will assure you that for the past 6 or 8 months now, you can hardly hear that somebody is kidnapped because the government are really taking up on that. They have really done that, and they took it to a conclusion by establishing this vigilante group and others. Today, I will tell you, our time is very peaceful. So we encourage those outside to come home and help us. We cannot wait for government alone. No matter the environment, the enabling environment they give us, except we on our own will take our destiny in our hands. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Haiti. Mr. Ajala, please, let's get to hear your opinion.
I agree so well on my co-panelists have discussed. But one thing I will keep on stressing, for a country to develop, it has to have continuous access to electricity. That will help even the young man or the young kid in the backyard of his home to think and say, if I put these two things together, I can do this. It can work. That's how most of Europe, America, China, and Japan developed. It's from the hands of the youths, the kids, even in primary school, what they experiment. My granddaughter here, because there's electricity, was able to build an active working volcano. It's not because she's anything special from the child in Ugboha, or the child in Seluku, or the child in Ore. It's because the environment provides it. Electricity is very important. And I have taught throughout most of our land, there are so many God-given free-flowing rivers that could be harnessed to produce electricity, to give water for irrigation, for continuous cultivation of food, for even fishing. All this, you see, like I said, I don't say government is the wherewithal. Government has to provide the template for everything to work, like security that is improving, and like roads, and like even having regional railway. You see, one thing they always say, Chief, you will agree with me, and you will agree with me with what I'm going to say now, and it's very pertinent. They say railway is under exclusive list. That is national railway, not regional, not state. The state has a right to build its own. All to do is to build it to the standard.
By constitution, by constitution, it's exclusive list.
That is why I'm saying that exclusive list says national railway, not regional. You see, we are not interpreting the constitution properly. We are so scared. I don't know if you see what I'm saying. The point is that the state has the right to build its own. Only it has to, if it has to come across the national one, it has to be of the same standard as the national one. That you need to develop. You don't, okay, you say it's exclusive list. How far have we gone with this exclusive railway? That it's abandoned. You see, it's very important to, I don't know how, are we going to be slaves to the constitution?
I do wish.
No.
Yeah, I do wish you can have a part 2 of this very series. It will have made more sense, but that will be left for my boss to decide, Mr. Tulu, to decide that if there can be a continuation of this series. But for now, we really have to go, Salah. Thank you so much for that assertion. So thank you so much once again, Gentlemen, I will start with High Chief Sir Hilary Ekoye. Thank you so much for being our guest on this program this evening.
Thank you, madam. And co-panelists.
Welcome, sir.
I once again apologize for my lack of timekeeping. It was because I thought it was going to be 6 o'clock UK time, not 6 o'clock Nigerian time.
Right.
Thank you very much.
It's all right. We understand, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Alex Oluwole Ajala. Thank you so much for lending your voice to this topical issue all the way from the United Kingdom. All right. And then lastly, Dr. Courage Ijigede, all the way from Germany. Thank you for being part
Thank you so much, Franca. Thank you, co-panelists. It's just my pleasure to just lend my voice to ways I think we can move my state forwards. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
I did appreciate that. All right. And viewers, we'll draw the curtain here for today. Until next edition, I remain Franca Hidemuda. Please do have a blessed evening. Bye.